Hello everyone, it's Anna, also known as Book Anna, and today I am going to be talking about some of my anticipated new releases for 2025. I'm not going to tell you about all of them in this video, but I'm going to tell you about only for February and March because I found like a lot of books that I really want to get my hands on and I really want to read. This is going to be just for February and March, and I'm going to also at the end tell you all the books that came out in January that are also on my list, but I'm not going to go in depth with them. So starting off, we have first book, and that is a non-fiction book, and it is called Cleavage, Man, Woman, and the Space Between Us by Jennifer Finney Boylan. This is a memoir. It is written by a person that transitioned and she's now a woman, and it talks about transitioning in early 2000s and talks about in depth about gender and what it means to feel like a woman or a man. And I just think that it really sounds interesting because I have not read those kind of memoirs. I believe, even read that many memoirs, maybe 2 to 3. But this year I definitely want to get more into nonfiction. So it came out 4th of February, so it's already out. Next one also came out 4th of February, and that would be Harlem Rhapsody by Victoria Christopher Murray. This one is a historical fiction about part of America that's called Harlem and where Black culture flourishes. Again, I have not read many books like this one, I think, so I just want to read something new, and I feel like this sounds something that I could potentially really enjoy. Next date we have is 6th of February. I'm sorry, I'm looking down because I have like my notebook where I written everything, but yeah, we have 6th of February, and this one is called so yeah, Nephthys. Nephthys? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it is some kind of Egyptian name, and it is by Rachel Louise Driscoll. This one says that it is a mythology, Egyptian mythology, and it is happening in Victorian age. So I believe it's about this woman who knows how to read hieroglyphs, and then she needs to go to Egypt or something. And I love Victorian age and I love Egypt. I love learning about Egypt and like history. Next book I have is called Pink Agave Hotel by V. Castro, and this one comes out 11th of February. This is a short story collection. It is Mexican folklore inspired. I think this is like a short story collection where every story happens in this hotel, but maybe they're connected, maybe there are the same characters, I'm not sure, but it said that it's a little horror-y, so yeah, I want to read that one because also this year I would love to read more short story collections. Last year I read a couple of them and I really enjoyed them, so this year I decided to read even more. Next one also comes out 11th, and that would be Beta Vulgaris by Margie Sarsfield. This one is about a couple, and they decided that they are going to buy this property on some kind of beet farm, and they're going to be beet farmers. It's again a horror book, but talks more about like how this woman perceives herself and her body and the problems she has and consumption. Maybe it's like a female rage book, I'm not sure, but I never read any kind of book that is happening on beet farm, so yeah, something different from me. The next book I have is called The City Changes Its Pace by Eimear McBride. This one is a literary fiction. It's again about this couple, but this couple has a big age gap, I believe like 20 years. It talks about how their relationship is not going as well as it should be, and how they are feeling in it. It comes out 13th of February. Next one I have is called Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. This one comes out 18th of February, and this one is a queer vampire sapphic story. I love vampire stories. I love sapphic stories, so yeah, this one I will definitely read soon. Then we have another nonfiction book that comes out 25th of February, and it's called One Day Everyone Have Always Been Against This by Omar Akkad. This one is a nonfiction about marginalized groups are not really safe in America anymore and in West, and it just sounds like it could be a really important read. Then we have What Do You Make of Me by Sophie, Madeline, Des. It also comes out 25th of February. This one is another literary fiction. This one is about siblings and how each of them perceives grief in a different way, because the sister is some kind of a painter. She's an artist. The brother just does not know how to handle it anymore. Yeah, as you can see, I really got into literary fiction like the end of last year. Now this year I really read a lot of literary fiction, and I really am enjoying it so much, so I just want to read more of it. So I have another one that is going to come out in 25th, and that would be Boy by Nicole Galland. This one is historical fiction, and it is about this young actor who plays in Shakespearean theater. It is happening in Elizabethan age. I love theater. I love acting, so I think I could really, really love this one like a lot. Now we are going in March, so the beginning of March, 4th of March, we have Dream Hotel by Laila Lalami. This one is a science fiction about a woman who gets approached by some people, and she's told that she's going to commit some kind of a crime, and now they need to lock her up because she is going to commit it in the future. Then we have Dream Count by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Sorry about pronunciation. It is another literary fiction, and it is placed in Nigeria. So yeah, that's everything that I know about it. It also comes out 4th. Another one that comes out 4th is Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. This one is, I think, only YA book on my list. It is YA dystopian fantasy. I read Ava Reed's books before I read Studying Drowning, and I read Juniper's Thorns. I have not read YA dystopian fantasies in a long time, and I really like dystopian books. They are really fun for me to read. They're scary, but they are kind of fun to read. Then we have 11th March, Malinali by Veronica Chapa. This one is a retelling of a woman that actually existed, and she was like interpreter for Nahua language, and it just puts this woman in this fantasy world, and the author made a whole story about this woman. So yeah, that sounds really cool. I want to read it. Then we have Oh Sinners by Nicole Cuffey. This one comes out 18th of March, and this one is some kind of thriller. I don't really pick up thrillers that much, but this one sounded like something I could enjoy. It is about this journalist named Farouk, and he gets into this cult that's called Nameless, and it is led by Vietnamese war veteran, and that's all I know about it. I think like he tries to explore what this cult is really about. Then the next book I have is called Rooms for Vanishing by Stuart Nadler. This is another literary fiction, and it's about this Jewish family. They get separated. Each of them lives their lives like they are the only one that survived. They do not know that other survived as well. It also comes out 18th of March. Then we have The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. Stephen Graham Jones is an author that I read and I DNF'd one of his books, but I didn't DNF it back then because I didn't like it. I just DNF'd it because it just wasn't time for that kind of book. I was even close to the end, but I just figured out, no, I'm not liking this book now, and it's not that I'm not liking it because it's bad or that I don't find it interesting. It's just that I don't like it because currently I want to read other things. So I read by him My Heart is a Chainsaw. That's the one that I DNF'd, and I'm currently reading I Was a Teenage Slasher. And Buffalo Hunter sounds really cool because it's about this Lutheran priest that is writing about this vampire that is haunting field or something. It's like he's writing about his life, and it is a horror. Of course it's a horror. He writes horror books. But yeah, I really want to get this one like soon. I want to get this one as soon as it comes out because I'm currently reading the other one that I already said, I Was a Teenage Slasher, and I'm really liking that one. Another one that I have is also 18th, and this one is called The House No One Sees by Adina King. This one is just YA poetry. It's about mother and daughter and their connection. So I'm not really into poetry, but I want to give it a try. We are going back to 11th of March because I forgot 2 books. First one is Liquid, a Love Story by Maryam Rahani. This one is a satire queer story about this woman professor who decides that this one summer she's going to go on 100 dates. And the other one that I have is called Luminous by Sylvia Park, and this one is about sci-fi future, well, it's science fiction about future in Korea in which robots are integrated in society. So they're like, you can be romantically involved with them. And I believe this one is quite short. So the next date that I have is 20th of March, and this one has only 1 book, and it is called I Want to Go Home But I'm Already There by Roisin Lanigan. Well, you know what? I didn't write that down correctly, I don't think, but I'm going to put it on screen so you can see. This one is about a couple, another couple book. This couple moves into this house, this flat, and they don't really feel like the vibes aren't there. Atmosphere of this flat is not good. So it's, I think, another like horror book. We have 25th of March. We have first When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi. This is a science fiction comedy book, humoristic book about what it would be like if the moon one day just became like a big orb of cheese. Then we have Blood on Her Tongue by Joanne Van Veen. This one is about 2 sisters. It is 1887, and one of those sisters is a bit ill, and she has this kind of weird illness where she gets really hungry for blood, and it's a bit vampiric. So yeah, another vampire book. Then we have Disillusion by Nicholas Binge. This one is another married couple. This time a husband suffers from some kind of memory loss, sickness, and the wife is trying to help him as much as she can, but then one day these people come and they tell her, hey, we do not think that your husband is actually sick. We think somebody is trying to erase his memories. So she needs to go into his memories and try to make them stay. And the last book that I have is Root Rot by Saskia Nislan. This one is a horror. And this one sounds like it should be a movie because it's about like these 9 children and they go to their grandpa's property on this like really wealthy piece of land. And on this property there are like a lot of weird things happening, like mushrooms are bleeding, and there are these people that their face is not really connected to their head, but then it starts to look normal and they start to like feel like the things on this land, so they start to be weird. And I don't know if I will like that one because if it does have body horror, I am not really into body horror, but I'll definitely give it a chance. It does sound like it could be a lot of fun. Okay, for this next part, I am just going to tell you about all the books that came out during January, the ones that are on my radar. So for the January ones, I'm just going to tell you genre of the book. First, we have Save Me, Stranger Stories. This one is a short story collection. Then we have A Gorgeous Excitement by Cynthia Weiner. Then we have The Artist by Lucy Steeds. This one I don't know how I will get. A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. This is a fantasy about the dragons. I noticed my TBR last few years, it was mostly fantasy books, with some of them being classic, but mostly fantasy and maybe horror. And then this year and the end of the last year, I started to explore more, and I'm really proud of myself because I think like I got into completely different genre than what I was before. And I think that's great because I get to experience so many different things. Next one I have Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. This one I've been anticipating since October. So in October I already knew about this book and I really want to read it, especially now at these times. It's about like, I'm going to say what this one is about. It's like about this family and they are all watching these really right-wing news, and all of them start to kind of get transfixed by this, and I think only two of them are not, and it's a horror. And yeah, I think it's like it will hit close to home. Then we have Playworld by Adam Ross. This one I already have also in my ebook, and I just am waiting to finish one of the books that I'm currently reading, and then I'm going straight into this one because it's another drama theater kind of book. Then we have one that it's nonfiction, and I also have it, Mood Machine, The Rise of Spotify and the Costs of the Perfect Playlist. Then we have Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fato, or Victorian, about a little kid, I think. Then we have one that I read, and I think you probably heard about it because it's everywhere, and that would be Watermoon by Samantha Sotoyambao. This one I read, and I can tell you right now, I wasn't that happy with it. I gave it 3 stars. I think it was okay, but it was too rushed for me. It was very dreamy. And like vivid. The world was beautiful, but it was just too rushed for me, and I didn't care for like a romance plot at all. I think it was like, it was not needed even. Next one I have is Death of the Author by Nandi Okorafor, and this one is, I believe, another like fantasy. I said I'm not going to tell you what these books are about, and I'm just telling you what these books are about because for some of them I really think they could be really good, and this one is one of them because this one is about author who writes this robot story, and then it starts to get into her real life, like it starts to mesh. Yeah, something sounds good. Okay, next one I have is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I read one of his books, and it was my top 10 book for last year, and then I read another one by him, We Sold Our Souls. I didn't like that one at all, but I will give him a chance, and this one could be really good. He knows how to write good horror, like not happy, but like comedic horror. The Way Up is Death by Dan Hanks. Some kind of sci-fi about a tower that is in the sky above New York. Then we have Confessions by Catherine Airy. This one I have in audiobook form. It's kind of literary fiction. I don't remember what it's about. Then we have We Lived on the Horizon by Erika Swiler. This one I believe is another like science fiction. I have an audiobook for that one as well. So Thrilled for You by Holy Born. So this one is about like a group of friends, and they haven't seen each other in a long time, and then one of them gets pregnant and she's now throwing a baby shower, and she invites them all, and then her house burns down. Let's Call Her Barbie by Renee Rosen. This one is fiction book about a founder of Barbie dolls. Then there is like Something Rotten by Andrew Lipstein. This is a horrible book cover. I hate it and love it at the same time. It just makes me so ugh. Because it's like a close-up of a child's face that is like bawling and screaming, and like they're like little teeth, and I love teeth on the cover. I have some kind of fixation with teeth on the covers and like eyes, but this one is just like a bit too much for me. Then I have Disappoint Me by Nicola Dinan. I love the colors of this cover, really great colors. Don't know what the book is about anymore. I forgot. There are so many. I just cannot know what every single one of them is about. We Rip the World Apart by Charlene Carr. I think it's like a horror about a family. I wish I could tell you more, but I don't know anymore. Then I have another non-fiction about Antarctica adventures and travels to Antarctica, and it's called Realm of Ice and Sky, Triumph, Tragedy, and History's Greatest Arctic Rescue by Buddy Louise. I'm so smart. I have so many nonfiction books. Another one I have is called Old Soul by Susan Barker. Don't remember what this one is about. And I have We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen. Don't know what this book is about. Then I have At the Bottom of the Garden by Camilla Bruce. This one is a horror, and it's something to do with garden. And then I have Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson, and this one is like, I think, another family. I have 3 more, so bear with me, just 3 more. Too Soon by Betty Chamier. I have this one in audio form as well. The Harder I Fight, the More I Case. Nico, Love You, a Memoir. Nope, I read that wrong. The Harder I Fight, the More I Love You, a Memoir by Nico Case. This is a memoir. The Lamb by Lucy Rose. Another horror. Those are all the books. I gave you like a lot of books, and I have a lot of time to read them all, but not enough, because there's going to be more, and I'm going to tell you other books that I'm anticipating at the end of the March for April and May. So yeah, I hope you found out about some kind of book that you now want to read as well. That's it. Thank you for watching my video. I hope I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.